Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, the Black Business School. I want to say good afternoon. I'm not going to be here for long, but I wanted to come in and just hang out for a little bit. I also want to say Happy Mother's Day. If you're watching this video in live, then today is Mother's Day, and Mother's Day is an important day. That's when we show appreciation to the women who gave us life, who gave us love, who took care of us when nobody else would, and who had our backs when nobody else did. And so I want to say hi to Free Trader and Brill Knox, and who else is in here? I see a few other people. Do me a favor, shout out your city, so I know what city you're from. Also, let's see, Donald and Jessica and Niekro and Orlando. How you doing? And okay, so let me just jump right into it. Okay, I see Minnesota, Houston. Well, says Shanna. Oakland, Winston-Salem, DC, St. Paul, Atlanta from Big Papa, Providence, Houston, Detroit. All right, so I see a lot of cities in here: Birmingham, Chicago, Charlotte. Good. Denver, Dallas. Ohio. Usually I see a London by now. There's a lot of people in Black London that give us love, and we love them right back. Louisville, Kentucky, that's my hometown. Waukegan, Little Rock, Houston. Houston is where we're hosting the All Black National Convention, which is the weekend of September 27th. So mark that on your calendar for the weekend of September 27th in Houston. It's going to be awesome. Okay, so here's what I was processing this morning. I took a look at on my news feed, and I saw this Mr. Steve Harvey, his daytime talk show, I think it's called Steve, was basically set to be cut. That they made the announcement that he's on his way out of the network, and it's interesting. I mean, part of me wasn't surprised because it's not easy to do well in this industry. I think that the daytime talk show thing is like a freaking what do they call it? Merry-go-round or whatever it is, like literally it's a revolving door. That's the term I'm looking for. Yeah, so this revolving door of daytime TV is it's really tough, to make it in that industry. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Steve didn't know that he might be on his way out at some point in the near future. A lot of people just don't survive that long in this industry. Now, what's really interesting is that a lot of people feel that Steve getting booted is karma. Tell me what you think. Do you think that that's just karma, that Steve, he's been cooning and you're happy to see him get cut, or do you feel like it's sad that a brother lost his job? I don't know. I think that I see a lot of people saying that he was cooning and buck dancing. I'm gonna leave that alone in terms of letting you have your decision on that. I will say that I remember what was it when Steve made the jokes about slavery. I think that I forgot what it was he said about I don't care for slavery or I don't want to talk about slavery or something like that. And I think that kind of hit him. They kind of made him look kind of bad. I think that Steve, at the same time, I don't see Steve as a person who just cares nothing for Black people. I think that it's almost like he's the new Bill Cosby. If you remember when Bill Cosby started getting a lot of heat from a lot of people, it was because he was kind of giving what he thought was tough love. But a lot of people just thought he was just being an asshole. They thought he was being an arrogant guy who's worth, a couple $100 million, who just believes that because he's got all this money, he has the right to judge everybody and speak down on people and all this other stuff. And there was very little empathy that came from Cosby. And I think that Steve Harvey might fit in that category to some extent. He's worth a lot of money. I looked up his net worth. I think he's worth about 160 million right now, which means that, one thing Steve can probably show you, though, is how to get ahead and make some money. I don't think you have to go to the extreme that he goes to. Like, I would not, I personally don't really know exactly where the Black man fits in daytime talk television, like where you got the soccer moms and the white women all across America watching the show. Like Michael Strahan comes off real feminine to me, and it just he doesn't represent Black maleness that I know when he's up there. And I don't think that I'm in his target market. I really don't. I think that white women are his target market, and it's fine. I mean, I think that he's he's good. I'm happy for him and whatever. I don't know, I don't know how he, who he connected with that put him on these daytime shows, him, Strahan as well as Steve. But, these guys do what they do. And I don't think they really mess with too many people. So it is what it is. But let me see. I'm looking at some of the comments. I see Briel says, I feel like Steve has been in Hollywood long enough to know better. Kissing up to white people does not work. Yet he did it anyway while his peers like Cosby were being attacked. Well, you can't say that there is a danger to the black man who gets too comfortable in those white spaces. Tell me yes or no if you agree with this. I think that when black men get real comfortable where it looks like white folks really love them, like white folks are like, oh my God, you're our favorite Negro, and you get your good nigga sticker. I feel like they're in danger. They don't see it at the time. But in some cases, I've seen it, with Tiger Woods. I saw it. I said, OK, as soon as he messed up, he done. O.J. Simpson. A lot of people saw that. A lot of people said, ooh, if he messes up, then white folks going to turn on his ass in a minute. Who was another one? Bill Cosby. A great example. Bill Cosby. When white folks turned on him, they were like, well, let's go lynch the Negro this week. So Steve Harvey's in that category. Who's another one that I think? Because white people love him so much. There was one other person that came to mind. Oh, Barack Obama. I feel like Barack Obama. I think part of the reason Barack Obama is such a lame, he's super lame duck in terms of doing anything radically important for black people. And I think it's because they got stuff on him. I really believe they got a lot of stuff on Barack, and I believe that if Barack ever got too gangster with them, I think it got too out of sync with the Democratic Party, too out of sync with white liberal ideology. I believe that you would see a scandal unlike any other scandal pop out for Obama. I think Obama would get buried because I live in Chicago and I hear the stories and and I'm just saying, I'm like, wow, I'm stunned that they're able to keep a lot of these stories, behind closed doors. You can go Google them. They're actually on the internet. It's not like they're all conspiracies either. This is not just speculation. And this is real people that have told these real stories, but I'm not going to go into that too much. I would just say that that there are people that are protected, and protection is a double-edged sword. One hand, protection comes with bullying. Protection comes with an implicit threat. Like the mafia, when the mafia controls a neighborhood, they don't call it, controlling the neighborhood. They say we're offering protection. So they'll come to you, build a little bakery in the Italian neighborhood, and next thing you know, somebody knocks at your door. Hi, my name is Guido Gamaguchi, and I just want to come by and welcome you to the neighborhood. And I want you to do well. I want you to make plenty of money and everything. And I see you got a fine establishment here, and I love what you're doing. And me and my colleagues would like to just offer you some protection. And for a small percentage, we can make sure that none of the bad people harm you or harm your family or harm the store, because it would be a shame if somebody came in here and tried to burn the place down in the middle of the night, and I wouldn't want that to happen. So you just give me about 25% of your earnings. We come by every week, and we'll make sure you're safe and that you're protected, because I'm your friend. And I've seen bad things happen. Mrs. Wilson, she didn't want our protection. Next thing you know, Mrs. Wilson was found in the garbage can. She was dead. Right? Like that's what they do. They offer you protection, and that's what white folks do with Negroes who have their good nigger sticker. Is they give you protection until they don't want to protect you anymore. A lot of Hollywood types got crazy stories out there that could easily catch on fire. Because remember, even with Bill Cosby, and this is the conspiracy with Bill Cosby, because I do believe that there was an action plan to go get him. With Cosby, those stories were out there for 25, 30 years. Like it's not like they suddenly discovered that Cosby might have done some things back in the 1980s and 1970s. It's not like they just figured it out. They always knew it, but they gave him the protection, right? They had that, we like you, Bill. We think your show's so funny. We like to take care of you, right? So they gave him the protection. And then when he got to where he thought he was truly powerful, and he started trying to make certain moves, I guess, that they didn't like, somebody decided that they were going to come get him. And that's what it was. It wasn't like he's innocent. That's the thing. When somebody, that's the thing, you got to be careful. You rise up and somebody convinces you to go do dirt, like, oh, here's some drugs, or here's some alcohol, or here's some women, or whatever. You got to be careful, because a lot of times they're offering you these things so they can use these things against you later. So that if you get out of line, they got something that they can hold over your head to get you back in line. Let's see, Buck Dancing has an expiry date. That's funny. Hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please hit the thumbs up button. And also, you may or may not know, today is the last day you can get 75% off of our Black Millionaires of Tomorrow program for children. If you have kids or kids down the street or grandkids or nieces, nephews, you want to give them a productive activity for the summer. We have a whole curriculum for children that you can have them go through, maybe give them $10 for every test that they complete or whatever. Like kids will do a lot of stuff for money. I bribe the kids in our house, to get them to do the things they need to do. And it'll make a difference for them for a lifetime. We spent a very long time putting this together, and it's extraordinarily good. So if you are interested, think about it like financial baby food. They take baby food. Baby food is really just regular food, and they grind it up so a baby can eat it. Well, that's what I did with the financial concepts I taught my college students. Is I said, why don't we grind it up so that children can learn these things, so that our kids will be ahead of their kids. Our kids will be ahead of everybody's kids. And that's what I call Plan 2070. By the year 2070, I believe that if people like me continue to push the message of economic empowerment, people, Dr. Claude Anderson, you had the Nipsey Hussle types and others, Andre C. Hatchett, many others that are pushing the message of Black economic empowerment. I believe that if we do that and implement that into our culture, we're going to find that Black people are the most financially literate group of people in the world by the year 2070. I believe that that's true. So if you want to take a look at the program and get 75% off a lifetime membership, feel free to go to blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. Somebody type that in, please, so others can see it. blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. So for today only, you can get 75% off, and I guarantee you it'll be an investment that'll last them for a lifetime. All right, so let me look at some of your questions. I love everything you do, especially with the children. Is the stuff Antonio More saying about you true? I don't know what Antonio says about me. I don't know much about him. Antonio is the guy that's affiliated with the ADOS movement. Antonio More used to ask me to use my YouTube channel, and I used to let him use it. And I think that there's animosity because I stopped letting him use my YouTube channel. So Antonio, being a competitive guy, I think that, unfortunately, sometimes as Black men, if you see another man that you think is doing better than you, you'll spend a lot of time trying to tear down him in order to build yourself up. Because if you look at Antonio More, he's also attacked Jay Morrison. When Jay built the Tulsa Fund, he attacked him. He attacks a lot of people that are doing okay, that are doing better than him. So I just wish him the best. I hope he's successful, because when you become successful, you spend more time focusing on building your own success as opposed to chopping down other people. So I don't really know what Antonio said, and I can't say that I care a whole lot, because it's, that's kind of what it's like. Honestly, that's like a crabs in a barrel thing, and that's where the ADOS movement has lost a lot of momentum. The ADOS movement has been really marginalized because of bad leadership. Yvette Carnell, especially, her energy is so negative, is so toxic, and she spends so much of her time just attacking people, attacking Claude Anderson. She attacked Minister Louis Farrakhan. She attacked all of Pan-Africanism. How do you attack all of Pan-Africanism? She attacked the Black church. She attacks Black men on a regular basis. And so what happens is you end up alienating so many people that you don't have any friends left. So they don't have any friends. And so now a lot of people look at them and they say, gosh, like, are you building or are you trolling? Like, because it's always easier to destroy things than it is to build something, right? It's easier to destroy or criticize what somebody else has built than to actually build something yourself. So if I'm sitting there, if my homeboy is building a car and I'm sitting there and I'm not helping him build the car, I'm not building a better car, but I'm looking at the car like, man, those tires are ugly. Oh, that car, that engine ain't never gonna work. That hood, that hood is crooked. What's wrong with you, right? Like it doesn't take a lot of courage, nor does it take a lot of capability to be critical of other people all the time. It's okay, sometimes it's called for, but when you're critical all the time and you're not really building or developing, or you can't point to anything you created, you can't point to any Black people that you've hired, you can't point to any institutions that you've developed, you can't point to anything that's actually built something that's going to benefit the community, then it kind of just says that you're just a YouTuber that likes to just get into YouTube fights. And you have some people out there like that just like to get into these YouTube fights. And in fact, the sad thing about the YouTube space to me is that it's really kind of like high school. It's very high schoolish. People, like you got Paris Milan. She built her whole channel by dissing people and attacking people, and then other people are attacking her, and then and I think people like that. I think that feeds into what Black people do. Black people are we like drama. We don't necessarily like planning. We don't like execution. We don't like building. We don't like learning as much as a community. Some of us do, but a lot of us don't. People are more likely to enjoy talking about sex and drama and I hate you and this person sucks and they're bad and it's just kind of silly. I'm 47. I'm not doing that stuff. All right, so let's see. You're doing the same thing right now, says Sean Dent. No, actually, I'm doing critical analysis, but I will say that all those individuals who I've mentioned. If I mention somebody on my channel, they're always invited to come on my channel and have a productive debate with me. So if you talk to them and they want to come debate, tell them that they can just email manager@boycewatkins.com and we can have them on. In fact, Tommy Sotomayor wants to come on. So when he said he wanted to come on, I said, absolutely, bring him in. I don't hate that guy. Let's see. Steve Harvey is a high-paid employee. He didn't create anything. I don't know if that's true. I think with Steve, I believe Steve has a lot of stuff going on that people don't know about. I'm not going to say that, I don't think Steve is just an employee. I'll just say that, I think that he makes around 40 to 60 million a year and he ain't stupid. And I'd be willing to bet you that he has a very sophisticated investing strategy. And also remember, this man used to be homeless and he takes the time to give advice, even if it's not the best advice. He takes the time to try to share the advice. He takes the time to try to be helpful to people, and I give him credit for that. I give him credit for at least trying, even if it's bad advice. Now I do think that he goes a little bit overboard. I think that the cooning gets a little bit too, that little soft shoe and buck dancing. It does get a little bit irritating for me. But I don't have a complete hatred for Steve Harvey. I don't even hate him for meeting with Donald Trump. I think that when you learn how real men operate in the world, a real man will sit down with his enemies and try to figure out common ground or figure out a way to get something for the people he cares about. Like that's, like a real man ain't gonna say, well, I don't like you, girl, I ain't talking to you. Don't you talk to the ham, bitch. Like that whole like real like I'm not even gonna have a conversation because you talked about my mama. Like that's really like little girl stuff. If you look all throughout history, powerful men and powerful women have sat down across the table from each other since the beginning of time. Why? Well, because sometimes you want to prevent a war. Sometimes you want to figure out how to make a deal. Sometimes you're like, look, I don't like you, you don't like me, but I don't need you to like me, and you don't need me to like you. But here's the deal. There's that land over there, and I don't want us. I got people to protect. I don't want to go to war with you over that land. I don't want nobody to die. You don't want nobody to die. I know this. So let's make a deal. I'll give you this if you give me that. Your people stay over there. My people stay over here. That's what Malcolm X. That's why Malcolm X met with Klansmen and people that you would never expect him to meet with, because he was like, we have a common interest. Our common interest is we don't like each other. But you know what? There's room for us to actually give each other something so that your people stay over there, my people stay over here, and we both win, right? So I think that, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If I thought the only reason I wouldn't meet with Donald Trump, the only reason I wouldn't be interested in it is because I don't trust politicians. And that means I didn't trust the Obamas either. I went to a meeting with the Obama administration. I sat down. What was it? Oh, it was, I was there through video conference. That's what it was. Because I was like, I don't remember going to the White House, but I remember having a meeting with some people at the Obama White House. But when we were negotiating over criminal justice reform, it was stupid. It was like, I said, they don't really want to actually do anything. Like, this is a waste of my time. I'm trying to do something, And so the reason I would not meet with Trump has nothing to do with the fact that he's white or that he's a Republican. I wouldn't meet with Trump because I think politicians are liars. And one thing Trump really is he is a liar. He makes deals and then breaks the promises and all that. But Obama did the same thing. But I think that those who've tried to sit down with him, I don't fault them at all. I think sometimes you can get more out of your enemy than you can out of your friends, because your friends are gonna be like, well, we're friends. Why do I gotta do anything for you? An enemy has something to prove. They'll go out of their way to prove that they're willing to concede so that you'll give them what they want. So anyway, let me see. Barry Tesby says, I feel he was disrespected. how he did Marjorie, and he has to pay. I lost respect for him because of his treatment of her. Are you talking about Marjorie, or are you talking about his ex-wife, the other wife? Steve does have that old ex-wife. Forgot her name. Her name was Mary Shackelford, who is really angry at him. She wants $60 million from him. She wants him liable for emotional damages she faced since their divorce in 2005. When they divorced, she was given 3 homes and $40,000 a month until 2009, including a one-off payment of $1.5 million. Mary wants him charged with a constitutional rights violation, falsifying documents, contempt of court, embezzlement, extortion, and collusion. Honestly, I really think that it's kind of like a bitter ex-wife type situation. I'm not going to say that I know their marriage. I don't know their marriage, but I do know something about love. And one thing I know about love is that, if we had a court of love, where you could be tried and incarcerated, a lot of us would be filing charges against somebody, right? Yes or no? Tell me, have you ever had your heart broken so bad that you were like, something that you did to me had to be illegal because the shit you did to me was just wrong, right? I don't know if anybody else has gone through that, but I have. I've had my heart broken in romantic relationships. I've had my heart broken with friendships in public. When my very good friend Yvette Carnell decided that she hated my guts and wanted to attack me, that broke my heart. That made me very sad, and I just said, well, damn it, this ain't right. You can't do this. All the times I stood by you, I just got you a speaking engagement and nobody was even calling you for speeches. Like, I had your back. And you're mad because I won't keep paying you money? Like, you're mad because I'm not giving you, and so it sucks, man. I mean, it really sucks. It really hurts, and it makes you, it pisses you off, and it makes you say, how can you get away with this? And here's the thing, though. One thing I learned, though, about getting your heart broken is that just kind of comes with the game. I mean, seriously, like, can you imagine a world, like, seriously, think about somebody you dated who really did some horrible shit to you. That the person who cheated on you, slept with your best friend, the person who said they'd be with you forever and they were gone next week. The person who lied to you, you found out he was gay and you thought that he was going to be your husband, or whatever, right? Or the woman who swore she loved you forever, and next thing you know, you're finding out she's a hoe, right? She done stepped out, and now she's sleeping with your homeboy or whatever, right? Like, imagine if you could go out and file a lawsuit and get a $50 million payment for emotional distress for every time somebody broke your heart, every time somebody hurt your feelings, every time somebody let you down. That's not realistic for most of us. Now marriage does change that. Marriage allows you to get legal damages, which is why I've explained to you guys that marriage is not a mostly romantic agreement. It's only romantic to the extent that it's the romantic aspect in terms of your love for that person that leads you to be willing to make a legal contract with that person. Because marriage is a legal document. That is a legal contract. That is not just, oh, I love you. Oh, I think you cute. Let's have some sex. That's my boo. No, marriage is like, it's like, here, can you sign? Marriage is like, okay, so in order for you to be married, we need you to sign these documents in triplicate and make sure you initial on each page. And this section here says that if you decide that you want to have sex with somebody else, or if you decide that you think somebody else is cute, then you will be destroyed and lose half of your shit, and your reputation will be ruined, and people will conclude that you're a bad person, right? So one of the things I've always said about marriage is not whether people should get married or not. It's like voting. I don't tell people whether they should vote or not. I just say, make sure you think carefully about it before you do it. Think carefully about your next move, because there are huge consequences that come with that. And in the case of Steve, I'd be hard pressed. I'd really want to know and have evidence that Steve did something to her that was truly illegal. If he just hurt your feelings or broke your heart, I feel bad for you. But I don't really know if you have the right to chase somebody down and harass them, and stalk the shit out of them and engage in what almost amounts to digital terroristic threatening of another person for 14 years because they broke up with you. That ain't help. That makes me worry about you. That makes me sad for you. It makes me say, are you going to be okay? Because, you could have had a couple of new boyfriends by now. Like, what is it that's making you go after him 14 years later when there's another 2.5 billion men on the planet? Maybe it's 3 billion now, 3.5 billion. It's a big number. There's a lot that she, so I'm not saying that she doesn't have a claim. I'm not saying that she didn't get a raw deal. What she probably sees, and I've seen this, sometimes when somebody goes off and leaves you and they start doing much better than you, you start feeling like you missed out. You start feeling like I could have had that. That bitch is living in my mansion. That bitch is living my life. Or that Negro is, he's with my woman, right? And you start claiming things that aren't yours, because I can guarantee you this much. She probably wouldn't be chasing Steve Harvey 14 years after the divorce if he were broke. If Steve Harvey was wearing a Burger King uniform, and taking the bus to work every day, I don't believe that she would be chasing him down 14 years later saying, I need, $100 million for emotional distress. And so that becomes kind of the issue. And I guess people can feel how they want to feel, but I know that I was never raised to believe that I have the right to a woman's money. If I'm with a woman, and we all have ex-girlfriends or ex-boyfriends, right? If I have an ex that goes off and makes $100 million, I don't know how I could feel like I have the right to have money that you made after I was gone, but again, that's just my 2 cents. It is what it is. Now, thank you, Anthony, for your donation. I appreciate you very, very much, brother. Thank you so much for the support. If you guys want to support the growth of intelligent Black media, we are reaching around the world. We're reaching over 1 million Black people a week. All around the globe, all the way to China and Africa and all over the planet. And we could really use your support. So if you'd like to support, like to be a patron, a member of our League of Intelligent Black People, you can go to intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. And it's not a donation. We give you lots of free stuff in exchange for your support. So feel free to go to intelligentblackpeople.com. Also, don't forget, on May 19th, I'm doing an investment seminar for 1 day in Philadelphia. If you want to come to that, you can go to drboycephiladelphia.com. That's drboycephiladelphia.com. And I'm also, for those of you who requested that I do the same seminar digitally so people can watch it from around the world, I broke it into a 7-week series where we would do one hour per week. So in Philly, I'm gonna do 1 day, the 7 hours, but digitally, I broke it into 1 hour per week for 7 weeks. And if you want to sign up for that, you can go to drboyceseminars.com. That's drboyceseminars.com. All right, hit the thumbs up button. I'm gonna read some of your questions. Please hit the thumbs up button. Mid says, facts are that she's really bitter. Kisimbo says she's not bitter. Okay. I believe she's bitter, because I think that it is a little bit strange when you're chasing somebody 14 years later. I don't know. I will say this: if you ever get a chance to make money, be very careful about who you sleep with, who you marry, who you date. You probably want to pick somebody that's got something of their own, not because you need their money, but because you want them to have something to do in case you're gone. Like a lot of these guys that get a whole lot of money, and all the women come with the money. I can tell you, when I started making more money, I suddenly became much cuter and much more attractive. I'd never known how to deal with that. I think I had my first groupie attack in 2006. And that was weird to me, that this woman, just because of who I was like, I want to get close to you. And almost like it was a drug. And I'd never seen that before, and since then I've learned how to deal with that. I'm not gonna lie. I do have I've dealt with that. I'll just say that. And one thing I learned from that is from watching other people. I observe life. I try to learn. I'm a student of life. So I watch what other people do in other people's situations, and I listen to stories and all that. And so I hear from famous men. And what I see as a common trend is that, you get some of these men that really get caught up in it, and they're sleeping with these different women, and you're taking a big risk because you're letting all these women into your life who you don't even know, and you don't know what her incentive is. And she might be really nice to you and really wonderful and sweet and feed your ego, because women are smart. Women are so smart when it comes to like knowing how to tell us what we want to hear. Like ladies, I don't know where y'all get it from. Tell me if you agree with this. I think women are just, I think there's certain areas where women just have like a higher sense of understanding, strategy. Not all, I'm not saying women are bad. This ain't a bad or good thing. Men are we're good at certain things too. Don't get me wrong. We're good at certain things. But I can never, I've been with real strategic women who will be plotting some shit a year in advance. And I would be sitting there like, not even knowing what's going on. And would realize that she has some stuff. Like when somebody pulls out a text message from that you forgot about from a year and a half ago, like, you know, and you'll be like, wait, you've been saving that the whole time? You know, like that happened to me once, you know, and so it's kind of like, it doesn't make women bad. It doesn't make men bad. It means that you got to be careful if you got something to lose. That's the point I'm making, right? If you got something to lose, you might be thinking, oh, look at me. I'm a famous rapper. I got all the women, and as they say, I got all the bitches, right? That's how they, you know, like you got all these women coming at you and it's making you feel good. That might be a curse, man. Because you sleep with some lady, and let's say she ain't quite right in the head. Let's say she got daddy issues. And so, you know, she was abandoned by her daddy. So she hates men subconsciously, but she's not self-aware enough to know how abandonment from her father affects her relationships with men. So you sleep with her. And this is the truth. This is a story I actually heard, but it happens everywhere. But in this particular case, this guy was a good looking guy, very famous, women every other week. And he sleeps with some girl. And the next day she's like, hey, how you doing? You know, let's get together again. You know, you got time tomorrow? And he's like, and he's done. You know, for him, it's hit it and quit it. That was his MO for most women. So he's like, oh, yeah, I would, but I'm busy. I'm only here for one more day, so I got stuff to do. And so she doesn't say anything. So the next day she hits him again. Hey, before you go, you got time to hang out, bro? And he's like, no, I really don't. I got so much going on. I'd like to, but I can't. Blah, blah, blah. Third day, when he's out of town, she sends him a text saying, you raped me, right? You raped me, right? And he's like, what are you talking about? I did not rape you. Like, you were begging me to come back and have sex with you yesterday. What are you talking about? And so check this out. So then, and this is a true story. I share these real stories because I want Black men to be aware. I want you to be aware also for your sons and stuff like that about some of the stuff that goes on. And so, because some of you got sons who are athletes and all this and attracting all these women, and you got to realize that ain't always a blessing. That could be a curse. And so then the next thing she does is she goes into an email that he had sent out. She was like a business colleague. Like he kind of, you know, like he would send out these mass emails to a bunch of people that he was working with in business. And she was on the list. So she emails everybody on the list. You know how people can hit reply all and reply to everybody. So all his business contacts get this email, and she says, he raped me and it happened on this day and blah, 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 blah. And now here's the thing. Once you're accused of rape, that for Black men, you might as well be convicted. An accusation is a conviction, and there are smart women who know this. There are vindictive women who understand this. Who was that athlete that played for the place for Dallas Cowboys? I forgot his name. Ezekiel Elliott. Hey man, Ezekiel Elliott was at Ohio State University back when he was in college. He was dating a white girl. He was hanging out with Becky, and he was done with her. He didn't want to see her anymore. He just told her, you know, like, leave me alone. She comes to a party, and he's hosting this party, and there were witnesses. So thank God he had witnesses, because that's the only thing that saved him. And she was outside banging on the door saying, you better let me in. You better let me in. You can't do this to me. I'm a white girl. I can ruin your whole career, right? And everybody heard this, right? Check this out. So later on, though, the NFL still suspends him for allegedly assaulting this woman, even though there was no evidence of any assault. It was just her word. And he had all these witnesses. He still got suspended by the NFL. He still got suspended. Go look it up. It's crazy. So my point is to say that, you know, when you get to that point where, especially for men, you have a little bit of money, a little bit of fame or whatever, you have to be really strategic about what situations you will go into. You have to be strategic about what women you allow into your space. And really just generally speaking, no, they're not. Generally speaking, just caring enough about your body not to have yourself just out there like that. I mean, just from a health standpoint, that's a smart thing to do. But really, from a protection safety standpoint, it's a smart thing to do. Now, somebody said, Dr. Boyce, be careful. You could get caught in a Me Too situation too. No, I mean, that's, I'll give you, in fact, I can even use myself as an example. Somebody came to me and they said, well, Paris Milan is insinuating that you hit on her. And I said, no, she would never be able to on any level imply or prove that I ever hit on her, because I made sure I saw something about her from the jump. I saw something about her that made me feel like she was trying to get close to me, because I've had women try to get close to me. And that's why I deliberately kept my distance. So when I talked to her on the phone, my woman was right there. I think I talked to her on the phone maybe 2 times, maybe 3, I can't remember. But 2 out of those 3 times, my woman's right there listening to the conversation. One time she was on speaker, right? So there is no like, oh yeah, well, Boyce came to, and I went to his hotel room and we had drinks. Nope. I'm not having drinks with you. I'm not fucking up my shit over no crazy ass 24-year-old woman. Take your ass home, play that game with somebody else, so you can go in and try to. And I think that the reason that she made that insinuation is because when you are a powerful man, people believe that you're a whoremonger. If you're a powerful man, people almost criminalize sexual behavior, right? So I don't think there's anything wrong with people having sex. Everybody should be fucking someone. Like, it's nice. Fucking having sex is cool. There's no reason to judge that. But we now got to this era where if a powerful man sleeps with a woman, then she can then flip it and make it appear somehow that she was coerced into it, or make it like rape, even though there was no rape involved, even though everything was consensual, and she may have even hit on him. In fact, I even said to Alicia, I said, yeah, I'm going to keep my distance from this one. She's a nice girl, but I don't really know what she's on. Like, I get this sense that she's like maybe materialistic, or she likes those powerful men, and I can smell potential groupies from a mile away. Like, I know that. I can tell, like, when every joke that I make is hilarious, or you just think that I'm the most brilliant person in the world, or you just seem almost in awe to be on the phone with me or around me, then that is a warning sign to me. Unless maybe, maybe years ago, maybe I would have been like, okay, well, maybe this is worth pursuing. But I'm telling you guys, you got to be really careful, especially men. You get power, you get money, you get whatever. Watch out for these women, because there are women out here that will run game on you, but there are great women out here too. And I've even had people say, Boyce, why do you trust these women and these women? Because I've had people say, well, you shouldn't be trusting any of them because this is what they do, blah, blah, blah. I don't believe that either. I for every one black woman that disappointed me, there was 10 that didn't. And I love black women to the nth degree. And what I've learned is that there's a difference between real women and punk ass women. Right? Real women versus women that are on some other, when I say dysfunctional, I'm talking about like maybe, walking around here like I'm a feminist, I'm a black feminist, and she's using terms like toxic masculinity and straight supremacy and talk, she seems to hate men. Like, I can sort of sense that out, but there are also those women that are just rugged, like they're like rocks. They're just rocks for the community. Like, they hold it down for their men. They got black men's backs. They know the difference between sexual assault versus, bad sex. Like they're not calling everything rape or comparing everything to rape. They're not going to get mad if you tell them that they look good in a dress. As long as you're respectful and you don't act like an asshole, they're going to let it slide. Or they might say, oh, thank you very much. They're not going to run off and say, I was traumatized because he said I was cute this morning. Like, no, I mean, seriously, like, tell me if you're one of those women, right? Where if a man gives you a compliment, as long as he's respectful, you're cool with that. Like the fact that we got to where these feminists will literally almost act like it is traumatic. Like, it's like almost like you damn near raped them because you told her that she looks good, or maybe you checked out her booty real quick or something like that. Like, that's crazy to me. And it undermines the ability to pursue legitimate claims of sexual assault. So you're seeing a divide in the community. And I'm telling when I advise young guys, I tell them, like, watch, if you're picking a woman, watch her closely over a long period of time. Watch how she deals with her friends. Watch how she deals with her enemies. Watch how she behaves when her feelings have been hurt. Most people that become predators are people who are emotionally damaged. You know, like Steve Harvey's ex-wife, unfortunately, has become almost like a predator, not because Steve didn't legitimately do some bad shit to her. Maybe Steve was mean to her, but she's become a predator because you can't think that somebody being mean to you gives you the excuse to harass the hell out of them and stalk them for the next 14 years. Tell me, am I right or am I right? What if every man who ever got hurt by a woman felt that it was his right to stalk her, follow her around, harass the shit out of her, come to her job, act a damn fool, spread rumors about her, tell people that she's a nasty hoe? Like seriously, what if? Tell me yes or no. Tell me if you follow what I'm saying. Yes or no. Yes or no. I need some feedback on this. Tell me if it would be right if I advised a man like, oh, well, she hurt you, man. Like she said she was gonna be with you and she broke up with you and now she's off living the good life. Oh, you need to go stalk the hell out of her for the next 14 years. You need to ruin her ass. Like that's some abusive talk. That's abuse. That's what you call abusive language. And what happens is that because we got this gender war in America, we will allow women to engage in abusive behavior, but we don't call it abuse. Rarely, if ever, do I ever hear a woman accused of abuse. But I dare present this idea to you. If a man is capable of committing emotional abuse, which does not involve physical activity, it just involves me saying nasty shit to somebody. If a man can be accused of emotional abuse, then why can't a woman be accused of emotional abuse? And if a woman can be accused of emotional abuse, why are there almost never such allegations presented in the media? Why do you never hear stories about women being accused of emotional abuse? Again, because I would dare to say that if it was, let's say, Mary J. Blige's ex-husband, y'all saw where Mary J. Blige's ex-husband was trying to get child support and alimony and money to take care of his mama and all this other crazy. I forgot what, I think he was even trying to get child support for kids that he had before he got with her, or maybe it was Jill Scott's husband. I don't know. One of those women had a husband that was really trying to get paid. Sherry Shepherd, same thing. She married a man like, and what if Jill Scott's ex-husband felt that because of whatever happened in their relationship, whatever it was that broke his heart, whatever it was that made him sad, what if he felt like it gave him the right to harass the shit out of her for the next 14 years? What would you say? Answer me. Everybody answer me, please. What would that say? What would you say if he said, the reason I get to harass her from the year 2019 until the year 2033, because it's been, for Steve Harvey's wife, it's been 14 years since he got the divorce. I can harass her till 2033 because she hurt my feelings. And she didn't pay me as much as I wanted. She gave me $40,000 a month for 5 years, but that ain't shit. I can't afford my Bentley with $40,000 a month. How am I going to take care of my parents? How am I going to pay for my kids? How stupid would he look? Tell me what you think. What would you think? Would it make sense to you? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? It would make no sense at all. So if it wouldn't make any sense for Jill Scott's husband to do that, then I dare to offer you the idea or the possibility that maybe it doesn't make sense for Steve Harvey's wife to do the same damn thing. If we're going to really have this equality conversation in America, we need to really have that motherfucking conversation and stop beating around the damn bush. Seriously, stop acting like equality applies when it benefits you, but it doesn't apply when it doesn't benefit you, when you got to have the same responsibility that comes with the power of equality. Seriously, it wouldn't. So what I would say, somebody was talking about Wendy Williams' husband, Kevin. Yeah, I mean, I've heard stories about Kevin Hunter for a real long time. Kevin Hunter is not liked by a lot of people. Kevin Hunter was not liked at all. From what I understood, by the people that worked with Wendy. I was on the Wendy Williams radio show about 6 different times. And back then, I remember getting the sense that Kevin Hunter was not the favored person in that office, that people did not like him that much. Now, here's the thing, though. Wendy chose him as her husband, and Wendy stayed with him for many, many years. And I don't believe that Wendy Williams is a perfect person either. I know that there are lots of stories in New York about Wendy Williams back in the day. If you remember when, and in fact, you don't even have to look at the stories. If you look at the energy that Wendy Williams carries on her show, the energy that she's used to propel herself to the top, It's very gossipy. It's very destructive. She takes people down. She, remember her fights with Whitney Houston on the air, where Whitney was mad because she was out telling stories about Whitney and Bobby. What was it? Method Man's wife had cancer, I believe, and she was talking about it. And Meth went out of his way to tell stories about the past and about things Wendy did that were behind closed doors that only people in New York in the 1980s knew about, with her drugs and everything else. And you go look it up, just go look up what he said. He said some real interesting stuff. So to me, it's kind of like that. If you create that energy around you, that's the energy that you're going to get, So I think that with Wendy, I don't feel sorry for Wendy, because Wendy's such a smart lady. She's the best radio show host I've ever worked with. She's the best host I've been on the Tom Joyner morning show. I did not enjoy it. I've been on there several times. It was never fun because Tom, the way he does his interviews, it just wasn't, I didn't like it. But Wendy's show, I always loved it. I was always comfortable. And I think that she is an extraordinary host and a very smart woman. She rose to the top of New York media because that woman is a genius. And to me, if you are a genius and you are that powerful and you have built your career in a specific way, you know what it is, you know what you signed up for, you know what you got into. So I don't have sympathy for her. I think Wendy's gonna be all right. But what she's doing though is she's playing the woman victim card, because that's what people are politically aligned to. So she's pretending like she had no idea he was having an affair, and that she had no idea that this was that the marriage would end up like this. I think Wendy's smart. I think Wendy, maybe they had an arrangement, maybe they had an agreement. I know for a fact about celebrity couples where everybody thinks that they don't know what the other one's doing, but they have an open marriage, but they have to pretend like it's not an open marriage because that America doesn't understand that concept. Well, I know couples where the husband is gay and the wife is gay. Big famous couples that are admired by everyone, where the husband don't even want to sleep with the wife, and people are like, oh my gosh, she's never jealous of all the women because she don't care. He likes men, she likes women. It is what it is. So I think people just are kind of in this weird delusional space. Like, it's very interesting to see that. But then again, maybe I'm talking too much. Let me see. Anybody know where in Philadelphia the conference Dr. Boyce is having on May 19th? Yeah, it's at a hotel that's on the shore. If you go to drboycephiladelphia.com, the address is on there. I can't remember exactly. It's a Hilton. And basically what I did in Philadelphia was I rented out a conference room in the Hilton. I'm not going to have very many people in the room. It'll just be us in there talking about investing. When you walk out of there, I will make sure you are invested. Bring your phone. I'm going to tell you which apps to sign up for, how to set it up, how to plan everything, how to prepare your plan for your children, all of that stuff. So prepare, come with notes and pens and everything, because it's going to be an active working session where I will get you started as an investor. And also I'll give you access to some of our digital programs as a follow-up. So go to drboycephiladelphia.com, and also you can use the code word Philly if you want to get a substantial discount. I think it's actually 50% off. So use the code word Philly and you at drboycephiladelphia.com. Let's see here. Marciano says, Boyce, stop the celeb gossip. You're defending Harvey. I'm not defending, but I defend the truth. But then again, you can say what you want to say. So I appreciate your comment. Equality when convenient, says Vanessa. I agree. She helped write those jokes. Well, hey, if she did and she can prove that, then that does mean something, that she played a part in his success. But if she was that critical, then Steve's career would have flopped after she was gone, right? And also, if you can write the jokes, why aren't you going on stage and telling the jokes? Or why don't you have a contract in place that protects you? I mean, again, and I know that sometimes when we're in love, we just do stuff out of love, but you got to sometimes get stuff in writing. And it's not expensive to set up a Rocket Lawyer account and make a quick contract with somebody. Contracts are important to protect and preserve relationships and to document them. In fact, I can even show you guys today, just this morning, I was sitting with Alicia, and we have some people at the house. So I'm not going to flip it over. So I want you guys to read it. Well, actually, you can see some of it. But we got our will signed and also durable powers of attorney. And these documents require witnesses. So we got these things signed because we wanted to make sure that if something happens to one of us, the assets are not going to go to the wrong person. And also, if one of us is in the hospital in a coma, The other one would have the ability to have a say in what happens. So you got to get those documents signed. Don't end up like Prince and some of these Aretha Franklin without a will. That's just not smart. And also, because remember on Rocket Lawyer, you can create a will in like 10 minutes. So I think if you haven't done that, go do it. Also, get you a whatchamacallit, an insurance policy. Hit the thumbs up button, please. Take a second, real quick. Please hit the thumbs up button. Also, if you want a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, you can go to drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net, and you get a free e-copy of my book. So hit the thumbs up button, please, if you haven't done that. Let me see here. I understand now, Fox. Power of attorney. Groupies attack Charles Wu on the daily. That's funny. No Planet X, no other planets out there. I don't know what that means exactly, but maybe it's an astronomy thing. I didn't know. I don't know much about Planet X, but maybe there's a development there. Buck dancing gone wrong for Harvey. Yeah, it could be. Well, the big story around Harvey in terms of why his show got canceled, they're saying that it has to do with a dispute between NBC Universal and IMG. And IMG, if I'm not mistaken, isn't IMG the management company? So that makes you wonder if they were negotiating pretty hard on Steve Harvey's contract, and maybe they just said, okay, well, we'll teach you a lesson and let you get out of here. You can go do something else. I think Steve is going to be fine. I think Steve is going to find something else to do. And also remember, Steve is a wealth builder, so he's got almost a couple $100 million in assets. So he's going to be okay. But anyway, they said that the writing on the wall for the show last September year when NBC fell out with Kelly Clarkson, when NBC cut a deal with Kelly Clarkson for a talk variety hour to launch in the fall. The Kelly Clarkson show will move into the prime daytime slots occupied on NBC O&O's by Harvey show for the past 7 seasons. Steve taped his final episode on Thursday. 7 years isn't bad, though. I think that's a good run for a talk show. Originals will air through June, and the show will remain on the air in reruns through September. The demise of Steve raises the question of whether Harvey's show was a casualty of the animosity between NBC Universal and Endeavor's IMG original content over IMG's takeover of the show 2 seasons ago. Oh, interesting. So IMG took over the show 2 seasons ago. And I thought isn't IMG like a management type company? Let me see. Somebody give me some insight on it. Let me see here. If you're a Hollywood type, let's see here. Are the divorce rumors real with Steve? I don't know. He says that it's not true, and she says it's not true, but then again, it's never true until it's true, right? And in case you guys want to know, here's an interesting little fun fact. Steve Harvey's salary, I went to this website called salary-money.com, and they show you how much money somebody makes per second. Steve Harvey has made $42,000 since this conversation started. I don't know if y'all know that. And let me see. Now they list his salary as $85 million. I think he's had a year where he made $85 million because the Think Like a Man franchise has done really well. He's got a lot of other stuff going on. But so you may want to cut that in half though to really focus on his regular salary, which is still a lot of money, about 40-something million a year. They said that Steve Harvey makes $354,000 a day. Again, you can cut that in half if you want to be conservative. So that would be about $170,000 a day. $44,270.83 per hour. $737.84 a minute. And he makes $12.29 per second. So that's just a little fun fact about the fact that Steve Harvey is richer than white Jesus. So he's doing well. Let me see. I think IMG is also involved in UFC. Let's see. What is IMG? Let me Google that. I want to see that. Let's see here. What is IMG? Okay, so IMG is the International Management Group. Is a global sports, other events, and talent management company headquartered in New York. It has been owned by William Morris. And William Morris Endeavor in Silver Lake since 2013. Let me tell you, William Morris, if I'm not mistaken, was started in the Jewish community. And they speak extensively about the creation of the William Morris Agency, which all the Negroes in Hollywood are all lining up begging William Morris to take them on as clients. The book, How the Jews Invented Hollywood, they talk extensively about the William Morris Agency, where it came from. And it really was a byproduct of the fact that the Jewish community built Hollywood as their powernomics plan. They weren't getting the jobs that they wanted, so they said, instead of begging for the jobs, we're going to go just create the companies. So they started creating, the companies that made the films. Then they created the movie houses that would show the films. They created the talent agencies that would manage the actors and actresses who would star in the films. And now, years later, William Morris Agency has a tremendous amount of power in Hollywood. Like, they pretty much control Black Hollywood. Most of your favorite Hollywood actors and actresses are signed with William Morris or one of the spinoff agencies. I think it's CA, I think Creative Arts, spun out of William Morris. And all this came out of the Jewish community. So when Minister Farrakhan talks about, Jewish power, especially in media, he ain't off the mark, man. And you ain't got to be anti-Semitic to cite facts. This ain't even an anti-Semitic statement. I think it's giving the community props, giving them props for doing something that I want Black people to do. I want Black people to own a Black Hollywood. Why do you think I started Boyce Watkins Films? We have films out there. The Black Love Blueprint. You can go find it on Amazon right now. The Black Love Blueprint. We have Democracy, a Black American horror story. It stars Zaza Ali. Now, her brand has shifted a little bit because of some controversy, but that doesn't mean Zaza isn't smart. Zaza made a mistake, but Zaza's still intelligent, and the film's very, very good. The original person that was supposed to star in that film was actually Yvette Carnell, and it didn't work out. It just didn't. I'll just say it didn't work out. We have Resurrecting Black Wall Street, The Blueprint. That's out there. Check that out. Every Black person, and we did that film because we believe every Black person in America should know the story of Black Wall Street. So rather than waiting for somebody to make a movie, we made the movie. We have a new show, Black Capital. Black Capital, for all intents and purposes, is the shit. Black Capital, directed by Peter Parker. Black Capital is an extraordinarily good film. We got a lot of millennials involved in this project, and everyone loves it. And right now we're in negotiations with people like Netflix and others to try to get them to buy it. And if they don't buy it, we'll distribute it ourselves. But let me see if I can find the trailer for Black Capital. Let me see if I got it on here. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to see if I can. I'm putting Peter Parker's name and see what comes up. Okay, it's not coming up. Let me put in my name. Maybe if I put in my name, we can find it. I can't find it right now. But anyway, long story short, we put together a lot of films, a lot of projects over time. We partnered with Tariq Nasheed on the distribution of Hidden Colors. We partnered with a brother, Darren, I can't remember his last name, to make a film called The Melanin Code. The Melanin Code was dope. It was an extraordinary movie. I mean, you got Black people that are building things and creating companies. And what I'm just doing is saying to you guys, we have to have a symbiotic, a recursive relationship between Black folks or Black business owners and Black consumers, and where we're all supporting each other, where products are being created for you and you're supporting those products as much as you support white folks. So anyway, let's see here. Ari says, would you put Miss Sherazade Ali in your next film? I love her insights. Somebody mentioned to me, they asked me about doing something with Sherazade Ali. I have nothing against her. I just don't know a lot of people because I don't really get out there like that. I try not to, just so I don't get into a bunch of shit. I'm not really out there, I'm not really out mingling and mixing it up with a bunch of people, because Black folks, unfortunately, we have a mental illness. Like we're crazy. Black people are crazy as hell as a collective. This slavery thing, this Jim Crow thing, this oppression thing, it's made us really hate each other, be jealous of each other, attack each other. And I don't like to be a part of all that, So even the couple of things that I've had to deal with publicly, and we have to put in contracts and non-disclosure agreements and threaten to sue people, to shut people down and all that. And I don't even like doing all that. I just want to help the community, but it's like there's something about Black folks where we still have a ways to go. So I deal with sane Black people, good Black people, but the minute you start acting a little crazy and going over the top, I have to cut you off. And then what happens though is sometimes if you've ever seen somebody really lash out at me, a lot of times when they lash out, you can see in their eyes that they're hurt. Like you saw with Paris, you can see in her eyes she was hurt. Yvette Carnell, you can see where she was hurt. Well, a lot of times they're hurt because I cut them off. Like I have advisors that will tell me this person's out of line. They're over the top. They're going to mess things up. Cut them off before they poison everything else. So, the way you can tell the difference is that if you point out somebody that might be attacking, if I can show you 1,000 ways I've helped this person and you remember seeing me supporting that person, just know most of the time they're lashing out because I just said I'm not doing this anymore. I can't do this for you because this is going to be bad. But a lot, so some people walk away quietly and they say, okay, it's, it didn't work out, I'm done. And that's what most people do, and that's what chill, cool people do. But then there's some people who just will go publicly and throw a temper tantrum. And so one of the things that they'll try to do is they'll say, oh, well, everybody thinks Boyce is a nice guy. And so I'm going to go and say, oh, that's all a fake. That's all a fraud. That's all he's pretending. He's pretending to be nice, but he's really a demon on the inside. And that doesn't bother me so much in the sense that the people that I think that see me, I'm on here a lot. So you see me all the time. You can't put up an act this long, this much. I've done probably 15,000 videos on YouTube. You can't, it's hard to pretend for that long, right? So you're seeing kind of who I really am. And so that's why it doesn't bother me. But at the same time, it's just kind of like unfortunate because another thing that's bad, and this is why, and I'm giving this as a lesson for you guys as you do business, you have to find a way to find a peaceful resolution, even if you're pissed off at somebody. Because here's the other thing, and I speak specifically, say, on Paris Milan, I could have probably been a good asset to her. There are lots of things, her talent, I think she's got a certain degree of talent in certain areas, for a certain niche. And you've seen where when I help somebody, they blow up. There are plenty of people that you know about now that you know about because I put them out there. I put Yvette Carnell out there. I put Cynthia G out there. I put, a bunch of other people, even the rapper Young M.A. Hey, go look it up. Go Google this. I'm not making this up. This is true. Go Google this. She said this several times. The rapper Young M.A. got out there because I put her stuff out there, right? And there's others out there as well. So the thing about it is that here's my point. We have to sort of confront our culture, the culture we have of getting mad and deciding we want to just destroy the other person. I ain't fucking with you. I hate your guts. I'm going to tell everybody you ain't shit. You a fraud. I'm going to do everything I can to ruin what you got going on. And then I ain't got shit going on. So then both of us ain't got shit, right? And instead, smart business people will say, look, I don't like this son of a bitch. This person ain't, they pissed me off. They did me dirty, but I can still get something from them. So I'm going to go ahead and take the parts that benefit me. And then the other parts I'm not going to mess with anymore. I'm just going to move away slowly or whatever. And I can tell you that I've worked with people. I'll just say this. This first time I've actually mentioned this. Me and Damon Dash did not end on the best of terms. I'll say that. I walked away from that situation because I was not comfortable with certain aspects of how things were being done, right? But how many times have you ever heard me get online and say, Dame ain't shit, he's a fraud, Dame's a son of a bitch, fuck Damon Dash, he needs to go to hell? I've never done that, nor will I ever do that. Whenever I brought his name up, I've always deliberately brought it up in a way that is satisfactory because that's how men do business. That's how grown-ups do business. That's how corporations do business. That's how nation building operates. You walk away from the table, but you try to make sure that you minimize the amount of drama because drama is bad for business. Drama gives people something exciting to look at because they get to watch both of you burn down and both of you look like jackasses, but it doesn't help you long term. Like there's a saying that says when two people are fighting each other, they both look like idiots from a distance. Like it don't matter if it's their fault or they did you dirty first or whatever. Like when you're both fighting each other and like, fuck that nigga ain't shit. He's a fraud. He's a piece of shit. He's a dumb. It makes you look as dumb as that other person because people don't really know who did what. They just know both of y'all looking stupid right now. And neither one of y'all getting anything done because you're spending all your energy destroying each other as opposed to building. So when I decided to minimize my business relationship with Damon Dash, it was done in a way where he could still call me today, tomorrow, and I would pick up the phone. I could call him, and there'd be some stuff to talk about, right? But it wouldn't be like, man, fuck you, nigga. I can't stand your punk ass. When I see you, it's gonna be. Who does that, man? Like, who does it other than children? And a lot of it. Another thing too is you never know when you're gonna need somebody else. Who did I actually learn that from? From watching them, Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons. Russell and I worked together on a couple of projects. The biggest one was the mass incarceration thing. We got about 200 celebrities, including people like Chris Rock and Nia Long and Jennifer Hudson, even white people, the Kardashians, Justin Bieber, Jada and Will, a lot of people to sign a letter to the president to change their incarceration policy. And Russell was instrumental in getting that done. And I'll tell you, I was really stunned that Russell wanted to work with me, because the only way Russell knew about me was because I had criticized him pretty heavily. And I could not understand. I said, how does this man just forget about this stuff that happened in the past? Because I was young, I didn't understand. That's what you do. You come out guns blazing and acting a damn fool. And I've made mistakes. Everybody does. And I did talk to him about it one day. And I said, so how do you manage that? Like, what, I have to confess, like, I was surprised that we worked together because blah, blah, blah. And you know what he said? He just kind of said, well, if you have an issue with somebody, you ain't got to go upside the head with a sledgehammer. When you ruin a relationship or you burn a bridge, you're hurting yourself as much as you're hurting the other person. But disagreements happen all the time. And I internalize that. And Russell, I like Russell also. I know Russell had some interesting accusations against him from the 90s. And to me, again, if there's no proof, I don't know what else to do with it other, than the fact that I'd say, okay, we'll prove it, but I'll say that in terms of how Russell dealt with me, he always dealt with me with decency and dignity. Also, I learned from watching him, and I also have a respect for the fact that he rides with Farrakhan. He's always rode for Minister Farrakhan, and anybody who loves Farrakhan, I love them for loving Farrakhan. So long story short, I'm just saying that in business, you have to solve problems. That's what Rachel's saying. That's the point, right? I'm a mathematician, and it's great because in mathematics, when you see a problem, you don't see a problem as an obstacle. A problem's not a reason to throw a temper tantrum. A problem's not a reason to destroy a relationship. A problem's not a reason to act a fool. In mathematics, a problem is something that gets solved. So what you do is you solve the problem. You figure it out. You say, so in the Nation of Islam, they actually, one of the things that they do is they tell them, if you have an issue with another brother, sit down and talk to him, or a sister in the nation, you talk to them. You sit and you talk to them. Don't go off he said, she said, and oh, I can't stand him because I heard that he was talking slick because he said the blah, 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 and he sneak dissed me on YouTube. They don't have those kinds of problems. Why? Well, because they are encouraged to sit and talk to each other and to say, look, this is a problem I have with you. So that's what I would just say is, I think for those of you who have some sense, and I assume you do because that's why you're here, because there's a lot of bullshit on YouTube. There's a lot of people just screaming about nonsense and speaking ignorant. That's why I say this is the place for intelligent Black people. I don't want everybody here. I don't want to be a part of that nonsense. But those of you who got some sense, that's my OG advice to you today, is when you have a difference with your brother or with your sister, try to talk to them. And I will say, and I want to set a good example and say that anybody you've ever seen me criticize, like starting with, say, Yvette Carnell, who did the ADOS movement, or even Paris Milan, or even Tommy Sotomayor, or whomever, that door is open for any of them to come on here and talk to me directly in front of everybody. And the same thing I say to you when they're not here is exactly what I'd say if they were here, because I, from the core, know that I'm a good person. I know from the core that some of these people, I've tried to help them, and I have no problem saying, well, here's what it is, right? So I encourage you to look for peace in your life. You're starting with your important relationships with family, with friends, with marriage. If you get married, if you have a problem with your spouse, never look at your spouse as the problem. Look at the problem as the problem that you and your spouse will solve together, because you have to maintain peace. And the Black people can't do that. That's why Black people can't stay married, and that's why they can't hold businesses together, because when you do business with somebody, it's like marrying them. And if you can't, if every reaction you have to when your feelings get hurt, or when you get traumatized or triggered, or somebody disses you over $125 or whatever, and your reaction is to go nuclear, and to hit the nuclear button, then you will never build anything, because you can't build it all by your goddamn self. You can't do it by yourself. So white people are kicking you in your ass, building massive institutions right around you, because at least they understand in business, they stay on code. Go watch the Avengers movies, and I want you to watch the credits for the Avengers movies, and I want you to see how many thousands of people had to work together in sync to work through their problems to make this movie get done. I want you to count. I want you to just look at it. You can't count it because there's too many names, but just watch. You're going to watch 20 minutes of scrolling of all thousands of names of people that all got together on the same damn page and built the same damn shit. And they had problems. They have the same issues you have. They got mad. They felt like somebody dissed them. They felt like somebody didn't do what they supposed to do. Somebody was hating on them. Somebody was sneak dissing them on YouTube. This person wrote an email talking about my mama or whatever. They have the same damn issues, but they worked together, figured it out, stayed on code, and made sure that the project got done. A lot of us in our community can't get shit done on a massive scale where we're all working together because some nigga want to be a diva. And I use the N-word because that's nigga-like thinking. You got somebody's like, it's all about me, and oh hell no. And if you gonna do this, and you ain't nobody gonna get a movie because I'm gonna tear the whole Avengers corporation down. Y'all ain't making no more movies, right? Tell me this. Tell me yes or no. Do you know a Negro like that? Do you know at least one Negro who acts like that, who thinks that it's all about them and all about their feelings and all about what they want to do and how they want to take somebody out, and they'll destroy everything. They'll destroy the business. They'll destroy the plan. They'll destroy the entire project. They'll destroy the entire family. They'll destroy everything you're trying to do because they haven't learned how to shut the fuck up and calm down and look at the bigger picture. The reason we can't build big projects in unison is because we are being persuaded through our own culture, through the memes that we share. How many times, yes or no, how many of you have seen memes on the internet that say things like, if he start tripping to, if you dissing me on Facebook, then goodbye. I'll be glad to see you out of here. Or I ain't messing with you no more. I ain't talking to you no more. Like, people love to brag about how many people they cut off, right? They love to brag about, you know, how they gonna just tell somebody off and you get in my face and you do this and you do that. I'm gonna let you know about yourself or whatever. And that's not how millionaires and billionaires and wealthy people and real business people think. Real business people might get real pissed off at you, but they always see the bigger picture. They know how to sit back and say, okay, well, you know, I know you did this, or even Barack Obama, when he ran for president, well, there were things that happened that pissed him off. You know, when Cornel West decided to go off on the Obama campaign for legitimate reasons, Obama was livid. I mean, he cussed the hell out of Cornel West backstage at an event that they had. But you always saw him keep his cool because he knew that he had a bigger picture in terms of what he was trying to accomplish. You know, so that's what I'm saying. I just want to encourage you, when you have a dispute with somebody, do your best to try to work it out in a way that does not make you both look stupid and does not cause you both to lose. Because when the relationship falls apart, everybody loses. I don't care. You know, when you go to war, there's no such thing as a winner. There's only the person who lost the least. All right, I'm about to go. Do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't done that yet, please hit the thumbs up button. I want to also remind you guys, speaking of solutions, you guys know about Blag Enough, which is our social media platform. That is a good Facebook alternative or Facebook replacement, depending on how you want to look at it. Here's how you spell it. And this is a word we invented that is ours. We trademarked this word because we basically were asking, are you Blag Enough? And we took the CK out and put 2 G's. And it's like, are you Blag Enough, right? So if you want to go to blagenough.com and sign up, feel free to do that. I'll be in Philadelphia May 19th. If you'd like to come to the investing seminar, please go to drboycephiladelphia.com. That's drboycephiladelphia.com. If you want to do the digital version of that seminar, because you can't come to Philadelphia, go to drboyceseminars.com. That's drboyceseminars.com. Now let's see, you said it's unclear. Here you go. There you go. So somebody type that in so you can see that. Also, if you want a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, you can go to drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. And last but not least, today is the last day. Today, May 12th, is the last day. You can get 75% off of our Black Business School for Children, which you can find at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. We are building economic super soldiers for the next generation, who will be the people who will build the businesses, who will be the investors, who will own the real estate, who are going to put Black people by the year 2070. This is Project 2070. By the year 2070, I believe that at least a pocket of the Black community can be the most economically intelligent group of people on the planet. And what can happen is that if you follow the models that I tell you, then your children can be part of that economic army that can protect the entire community. Remember, when you look for an army, you're not looking for everybody to join the army. Everybody can't join the military. Everybody's not built to be a soldier. You need a few good men and a few good women. And I want you to make your children part of that group of a few good men, a few good women. One good business owner can change the economic fate of 50,000 Black people. One good entrepreneur can make up for 50,000 people who never learned how to be entrepreneurs. So literally, we could take the number of Black people in our community and divide it by 10,000. And that number, if we get that number of people built on starting businesses and building corporations and developing institutions, they can educate, elevate, and accelerate the rest of the community, because these individuals will also have the power, and those who have the power get to impose their values on everyone else. So they're going to have the power, and they're going to have the right values when it comes to economics. And therefore, when they're pushing their message and their agenda and their media, they're going to push an agenda and media and a message that is productive for the entire community. So what I'm really doing is I'm rebuilding the talented 10th. And it's not so much a matter of where you come from, how much money your parents had, whether you went to college or not. It all comes down to where you are psychologically, spiritually, and where you came from culturally inside your own house. So I encourage you, control that economic culture, make it yours, and your children will show you things that you can't even imagine, and your grandchildren will take it a notch above them. So let's see. So if you want to sign up for the program and get a 75% off discount for today only, you can go to blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. Once your child's done with the curriculum, they can get a certificate of completion in each of the functional areas of money, investing, stock markets, and real estate. And they should put it on their wall, and they will hold this up proudly, because they can say to their friends, oh, I learned from a college professor when I was 8 years old, which puts them way ahead of everyone else. They will have a financial literacy level that exceeds the average college educated adult. If you don't feel that way when you're done, you just email our support team. We have an excellent support team. They will give you all your money back. The second thing is that you're going to see a self-esteem boost, because they're going to identify themselves as wealth builders, not rappers, not basketball players, not thugs, not idiots. They're going to see themselves as future millionaires, and how you see yourself shapes what you do. And so ultimately, that's the goal. That's the master plan. That's what we're going to implement. And I know it's going to work. So anyway, let's see. Lawrence says, Boyce Watkins, I've been a critical fan of you for a minute, but the things you say that I disagree with, but as a business guru, you have the platform that allows opinions. Yeah, I do. I believe in freedom of speech. So the fact that you agree and disagree with certain things that I say tells me that you're an intelligent man, Lawrence, and I respect you for that. Also, I love you because my brother's name is Lawrence too. All right, so I'm out of here, guys. Please have a good day. blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's the URL. Also, make sure you hit the like button, share button, and subscribe button. And I'm out of here. You guys have a good day, and I'll see you soon.